Hope you enjoy. Untape your pipe. If it's done right, it should be taped so no water gets inside. I like to cut my boot tight so that I make sure I get a good seal. That's what I'm doing here. Helps if you have a sharp knife. I didn't. Make sure you don't forget to put your boot on. It's common, it's easy to forget when you get in a hurry. Measure it. I'm going for a 2-inch. I use my blade, it's 2-inch. Make sure when you cut the pipe and wires is in it, you don't overcut. Just barely cut through the pipe, walk your sawzall around. Take your time. I've done 1.5 million pipes, so see, I'm just walking my saws all around. Then you can pop that EMT. Just make sure and deburr it, which is what I'm doing here. Obviously there's pipe in it. I can't use my pipe reamer, so I'm using the back side of my knife here. I like to put a band of tape where the wires go through the pipe. It's just something I like to do. Make sure you face your box towards the roof side of the roof. You know, I'm 3 foot off the edge of the building here. Make sure it's facing away from the edge. Obviously that's the way I'm going to point it. That way it gets the first reading it can when it's time. Make sure you face it towards the sun, as that's what turns this switch. Make sure you put a grounding pigtail in your bell box. It's common to forget it, but it needs to be grounded. Make sure you put all your plugs in your bell box. You want to make sure it's watertight. No water can get in there in your joints and cause any kind of problems. Make sure you don't over tighten them, but tighten them. I like to start with my grounds. Check your wiring schematics to figure out how you have to wire it. You shouldn't be hooking it up if you don't understand circuitry anyhow, but you have a line side coming in, which is a constant power that's going to keep power constant to your photo sensor here. When the sun comes up, that photo sensor will kick out and it will allow all your parking lot lights to go off in this application. But when the sun goes down, it lets it know and it kicks on and all your lights kick on. So just make sure you understand the schematics and make sure you label everything. What's your line, what's your load. Line is constant power, load is out to the field, to the fixtures. Just make sure you do a good job. I like to face all my wire nuts with the opening facing down, so if water does penetrate, it can't fill up and create any issues. Make sure you put your covers on. Don't over tighten them. It's very easy to over tighten them. You just want that gasket to barely pinch, and I may be OCD, but I like to make sure all my screws on every device is turned the same way, whether it be side to side